Okay, so it's me again, Mizu, and Aria's driving right now.
Hi.
But we just saw Joker.
Yeah, we did.
It was fucking good.
It was very good, actually.
I do have a complaint about the internet as a whole.
Okay, then what's your complaint about the internet as a whole?
Some of y'all overhyped this. I'm expecting to see a lot more graphic violence. Let me just say this before I get too deep. The movie's been out for 2 weeks now, so spoiler warning ahead. I'm gonna get deep into spoilers because
it's not drawn.
You're not getting a hit?
I'm not getting a hit.
So Joker was good. It was in depth. It definitely had more in common with King of Comedy.
Yeah, it's a
Scorsese film.
It's very Scorsese-esque. Like, it takes very heavy influence.
Yeah, you're right. It's not hitting
from it, and like a lot of it, like there's a scene in the film where he's kind of like dancing by himself and he's pretending to kind of like talk to a person, and in Taxi Driver it's very reminiscent of that, but he has like a gun with him and he's like gun with him that, so there's that.
Yeah, then, I feel like I should have did some quick homework because Donald Glover's girlfriend from Atlanta plays his neighbor, and they have I don't want to spoil too much because it's such a fun reveal, but they have a bit of a relationship with the neighbor.
Well, it's okay.
Yeah, he has a bit of a relationship with the neighbor, and it's super cute. It's super cute, but it doesn't stay that way.
Well, no, it doesn't. The main thing, like, what I liked about the movie, though, it's like it's very much a movie of its time. This is very much a movie that people will look back to on 2019 about, pretty much. If we're talking about the tone and attitude of...
The tone and attitude and just general feel of...
how people are feeling.
Is very 2019, incels on the rise. It's very just... I don't know. It's very of the times in so many fucking ways. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, it very much is. And, like, not only that, like, what I really like about it is kind of like, it's kind of like a warning letter to the 1% in a sense.
Yeah, no, it's... I mean, I do like how they retold Martha and Thomas Wayne's murder. It's like, we've seen Batman's parents get killed 1,000 fucking times.
That is true.
And the way that they handled it in this movie, I mean, it's not... There's so many things I liked about this movie.
Well, the thing with the murder of Martha and Thomas Wayne is that they actually did it pretty quick.
Yes, it wasn't drawn out.
There wasn't any slow-mo with the scene. It was pretty much like the dude's like, hey.
It was cut and dry.
Like, hey, Thomas Wayne, boo. The woman, like, the wife screaming, and it's not in slow motion. He goes and he, like, takes the pearls off and then shoots her, and then he's gone. And then Bruce is left there. It was very much, like, very realistic, essentially.
Yes, although I really do like the scene where Joker went to the mansion.
Let me in.
Yeah, so at one point, Arthur Fleck, he's not the Joker yet, he goes to see Thomas Wayne because his mother reminds me so much of Penguin's mother from Gotham.
Yeah, she kind of reminded me of Penguin's mother from Gotham, too.
But his mother's like, constantly like, Thomas Wayne's a good man. He'll help us. And I mean, I'm thinking like, Thomas Wayne has no clue what's going on.
Yeah.
I was like, but it was just so funny when he went to the mansion and he's playing with Bruce and he's doing the little wand trick. The wand is stiff and the wand's rubbery. Then the wand is a bouquet of flowers. And I'm assuming it was Alfred. That was Alfred who showed up to the gate.
The guy
was like, you have to leave.
Yeah, the guy with the British accent was Alfred, yes. Because him and Bruce, if I remember correctly, had a history together before he became the butler.
I don't know, but it was dope. It was just a good movie. It was a really fucking good movie. That's my one cuss word so far. It was a good movie. I'm still trying to organize my thoughts.
It's very much like, if you have, just for people who have mental health issues, we kind of prepped ourselves for it because we have mental health issues. And so, like,
well,
I just highly recommend for those who are easily triggered by suicidal ideation and that sort of very dark thinking, you definitely want to, like, I think you should wait a bit. You should definitely watch it, like, when you're at your house.
I don't know. And it's definitely the dude bro in me who's like, man, that was the fucking... It feels like the 80s. It really does feel like mental health during the Reagan years.
Well, yeah, I think that's what they were trying to do. Because everything was 80s-esque.
Everything was very 80s and 70s, but one thing I noticed about the vehicles, the newest vehicles I saw were, like, manufactured, like, 8 or 78. Like, there was nothing newer than 80 in the video.
Well, I mean, the thing was...
Like, I saw, like, a few cars that were, like, 50s-esque and 60s-esque.
Well, that's the thing with Gotham. It's, like, technically...
It's always... It's always ambiguous.
Yeah, it's always kind of ambiguous on, like, technically where it's
like...
It is time-wise.
Let's just talk about the DCAU. It's like... You'll see blimps flying around and railroad cars, but you also see cell phones and car phones.
Yeah.
And you'll see, like, bubble TVs, but yet high-tech computers. So the DC comics in general, and comics in general, are kind of always sliding time scales, and it's just ambiguous of the time period.
Well, it's also...
Which is a benefit to the movie.
Well, yeah, because then it kind of makes it its own world. And, like, not only that, it just... The main thing, though, is just, like, how it is and how it looks. It heavily reminded me of, like, 1980s New York.
It definitely has that 80s, early 90s New York feel. Pre-Giuliani New York. Yeah,
like... Well, like, because, like, I remember, like, in the late 70s and early 80s, there was that huge, like, people who took the subway only did it out of necessity. It was always a fucking death trap to ride the subway half the time. And, you know, there was a lot of crime, you know, and it kind of reminded me of that era, you know?
No, yeah, it definitely has that feel of pre-Giuliani's cleanup of New York. Because Giuliani, for those of you who don't know, Giuliani is how come New York looks like Disneyland now. It looks super clean, super inviting, super friendly. And that's not just Manhattan. That's kind of New York as a whole. Where there used to be those red light district fucking shops where you could buy stuff, where you had, you know, the sex shows where it was like one-way glass and there would be a naked woman dancing or playing with herself. They're like peep shows. That's what I'm thinking of.
That's why Times Square...
That used to be Times Square.
Yeah, it used to be Times Square.
That's not Times Square anymore. Times Square is very inviting to suburban families in 2019. I mean, yeah, New York's been very inviting to suburban families since about 2005.
Well, that's because Giuliani really wanted to get the tourists.
Well, he wanted tourists in, and he definitely had to clean up after 9/11.
Well, yeah.
That's also a factor in New York being Disneyfied. Yeah, Disneyfied.
Disneyfied.
That's going to be a new verb.
Good to know. Well, again, like, for those who have, like, pretty bad mental health, like, I just recommend don't see it in theaters. It definitely, like...
Well...
It was kind of triggering me slightly, if I'm going to be completely honest. Because, just, you know...
Yeah, and that's part of the thing, is, like...
Like, it's not
I'm less triggered by my mental health issues because I've got that dude bro in me, and I smoke a hell of a lot of weed.
Well, that's what I'm not getting triggered now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, there's so much symbolism in the movie too. So much symbolism.
There's so much. It's scary to watch that movie and think about some of this shit that not everyone is as balanced as I am, and not everyone is as crazy and in therapy like I am. Because it's one thing if you're like crazy and manic and you're in therapy, you're getting help, but it's another thing if you're not doing anything.
You're not doing anything.
And I'm not saying therapy's for everyone, but talking to someone helps.
Talking definitely does help, but I like to always recommend therapy to people just to at least try it once in your life. If it's not a good experience for you, there are other options. But I always recommend people just try at least one. And, do your homework too with that as well. Be fucking picky.
And I had my issues with therapy growing up because I was often forced into therapy during my juvenile years. But after some shit happened in high school, I saw a therapist. And I worked through my issues then. And I didn't go to therapy until I was working my first job out of high school at Super America, where I was robbed the first time.
Oh, dude.
The first time I was robbed, I had a gun in my face.
Ah, shit.
And I didn't go to therapy after that. I didn't go to therapy till after the second time I got robbed at Super America.
Oh, really, dude?
Which helped. But I didn't go to therapy again until after I got shot this last time. But everyone doesn't need to actually go to a therapist, but it does help to talk to someone.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are like, I'd rather talk to the pastor than some strangers, don't have to talk to your pastor. You can talk to a friend. Talk to a friend who's intelligent and informed.
Or a family member, like a cousin.
Yeah,
that you
talk
trust.
To someone you feel comfortable with. And somehow this became a plug for my Movember page supporting men's mental health. That link will be in the description.
But shit, what was I gonna say?
I don't know. The Joker's dope. Joker is a really good movie, but then again, the Joker's always the best part of every fucking movie he's in.
That's because the Joker character, just in general.
I mean, he's a character who steals the show, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, he always will. I mean, even though I don't like Jared Leto's Joker, they should have made the Joker in Suicide Squad the main villain, and not
And I feel like if he was the villain, you would not dislike the Joker from that movie. You would not dislike Jared Leto's Joker.
I would dislike it, but I would be happier with the plot line. I don't think he can save his Joker, but I think a lot of people would be happier with the plot line. I loved Jared Leto's Joker. Why?
He reminded me so much of the gangster Joker.
Oh, yes.
The gangster Joker. Kind of like Jack Nicholson Joker.
Well, that's what Jack Nicholson Joker was based off of, yes.
So, the gangster, the crazy psychopath. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of stuff in the marketing and promotion that was like, I don't know about that. Like, that fucking scene where he's surrounded by all those knives. I'm like, really? Are you really that OCD that you just want this scene for all these knives? Like, that's clearly not the character. That's clearly the director's point of view.
Yes.
Like, that's the director's ideal, not the character's ideal, and that is dumb, and the movie suffers for it.
Well, it wasn't.
I mean, the movie suffers for a lot of things.
It wasn't just that. It's just like how like he did certain things with the Joker. Like I wasn't expecting him to do like a full-on fucking like Ledger or like a version of fucking Hamill, you know, or whatever. Like, I wasn't expecting that. But I was just kind of expecting, like, how do I put it? He was forcing it. He was really forcing it. Just in general. He was forcing being crazy. That's the thing with Jared Leto's performance. He just really fucking forces it. And with, like, Joaquin Phoenix, Heath Ledger, it looked like it's basically his trait. That's part of his personality. Any part of this craziness is not forced.
Well, yeah.
And that's how the Joker is. Anything that he's doing isn't forced. But the thing was, Jared Leto just forced it. And it really irritated me because the Joker doesn't force. He doesn't force his personality onto people.
Is there an unrated cut of Suicide Squad?
Yeah, I have it, I think.
Okay, you should probably bring that over because I feel like I need to rewatch that because he didn't seem forced. He just seemed robbed to me.
Well, I feel like the thing was, I know in like the original film from what they were trying to do is that there was two villains. Joker was going to be one of them. And so there was going to be like a shootout of him and them in like a sewer, like in the sewer underneath the thing.
I read the leaked draft script. And yeah, that made it seem more like the Joker was...
No, there's an original cut before this whole thing, before
I'm talking about before day one principal photography. What I read was the Joker was going to be a minor villain. He was going to be a minor annoyance to the Suicide Squad. And the big bad was going to be like Black Mask or something.
Oh shit, it was going to be Black Mask?
I don't think exactly that, but it was going to be like Black Mask or Falcone or some shit. It was going to be like a big mob boss gangster type.
Dude, they should have done that.
Right, and that's why I was on board, especially when they cast Heath Ledger and they leaked that photo. And all I had read was this early draft script or whatever the fuck it was like that leaked. Because I was just like, because I support Marvel wholeheartedly, but as a kid growing up, I read both Marvel, DC, Image. Fuck, I read Archie.
I read DC.
But I want DC movies to be good. I don't want to see a bad DC movie. It's like, I've been excited for past DC movies, like Halle Berry Catwoman. Like I own the bootleg of that. I still own a bootleg of that.
You thought that was passable?
No. I mean,
you thought.
Okay. As a 15-year-old kid who was thinking with my little head and not my big head, I thought that was a passable movie.
Okay.
I thought that was an okay movie.
I guess.
Now the comic book in me was like,
it's horrible.
This is horrible. This is shit.
I mean, it sucks. Like, it really sucks that the Catwoman movie didn't turn out that great. And I feel bad for Halle Berry because I think she would make a dope Catwoman. Still do.
Yeah. I would have really dug it if they did it as like more of a serious movie and maybe hinted at being a prequel to Eartha Kitt or Catwoman.
Yeah, that would be totally cool.
Because
like,
that
she's
would just
the daughter.
be a fun watch.
Exactly.
The daughter of
Eartha Kitt.
Like any kind of weird Easter eggs like that, but DC doesn't do that because they've been so afraid to lean into the comic book shit until recently. And the problem is with DC now is like when they do lean into that comic book heavy shit, is cartoon CGI, it's cartoon sound effects. It's like I couldn't stand Justice League because when Steppenwolf is attacking the Amazons are fighting, it's all this like doom, like hollow metal pose sounds, and it's like, what the fuck is that? These are supposed to be real humans, Amazons getting hit, not you just like swinging. So Joker's refreshing because there's no CGI in it.
That's
other
true.
than them removing shit and adding shit.
I mean, what I also like about this movie just in general is that like they do a really good job with the narrative.
Yeah, the narrative is smooth.
It's very much from his perspective.
It did not feel like it was like a feature-length film.
No, it didn't. Like, it felt so quick. That's the thing. So when it ended, I was like thinking, is there gonna be more? Like,
no, and it didn't even start because we were late and we missed most of the fucking previews, the coming attractions.
Yeah, so we literally like just got in.
So we were just getting in and we watched half of one trailer, then one trailer, and then the movie just started.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay, that's new.
And what was really cool is they used the original Warner Brothers logo from the 80s, which was pretty dope. That had the little like analog lover in me just be like, oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's a real harken back to like classic fucking cinema.
It's very much kind of like a tribute to
70s film.
It's a tribute to 70s films. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. It's a tribute from films in the 70s. That is such a dope way to put it.
Yeah. It's like, it's a real tribute to classic Scorsese, classic just Joker character in general.
Well, not only that, just like the classic sort of, basically we're living in the fucking 70s. There's inflation, jobs are shit, we have like racism going around because the cops are beating the shit out of people.
It does feel like we're in the second 70s.
I know, right? We're in the fucking second 70s.
Now that you put it out to me, I'm like,
we just have this guy who's like a fucking puppet now for the Republican Party.
No, he's not even a good puppet. He is off script as fuck if he's a puppet for the Republican Party.
Trap music's kind of the new disco. I mean, we're in the fucking 70s, dude. We're the second 70s. We're the lamest century.
Okay, yeah, you're getting off here.
Oh, I'm getting off on this one? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we should stop at fucking,
Little Caesars?
Little Caesars. Little, oh, the poor animal.
Yeah, so, we just saw Joker. It was dope. We're gonna go to Little Caesars and get some pizza. Yeah.
Sorry, we're hungry.
We're hungry. But yes, thank you.